Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. Makeup for men. Yes, let's do this topic. Today I read an article on the website Zeit Online, and it was the campus edition, or under the under the part campus, which probably should attract or speak to a younger audience. So they aim for university students, obviously, college students, something like that. But most of the readers are boomers anyway, I guess, and this is why under that article there are less comments than under an average video on my channel, but that's really not the point. Let's talk about male makeup and what the article says. The article actually wasn't all bad. I was surprised, even though it was probably written by a woman, I think, if I recall correctly, but that's not really important right now. So it talked a lot about YouTubers, influencers, these kind of people. And traditionally, we all know that men use makeup when they are showing their face on camera, like on TV or in movies. The newscasters, for example, the guy on TV who reads the evening news, yeah, these people have makeup on, of course, because I think otherwise, if I'm informed correctly, or if I got that right, with all the lights that are pointed at them, their foreheads would probably glow or reflect that light, and that wouldn't look good on camera. So this is why they have some sort of a makeup on that makes the texture of their skin look more matte and not reflecting. So if a YouTuber, for example, who has a high production value, or some Instagram influencer or whatever, if they would put on makeup, it actually wouldn't be that surprising, because TV personalities do that all the time. That's a standard technique. They get makeup on before they go on camera. But that is not what the article is about. It is about marketing makeup for everyday life situations. So not for a media personality who produces a video or something like that, but for average men who work in offices or who go to university or anything, yeah? Not just for nightclubs and not just for the alphabet people, but for everyone, for especially for heterosexual men, because we all know, despite of what they try to tell us, the great majority of men are, of course, heterosexuals. There are not as many alphabet people as they want to make us believe. So if they want to make money with that, and that is the big surprise here, that is, of course, the goal of all this stuff. It is to make money. From the perspective of the makeup companies, half of the population, a little less than half of the population, isn't using their products. And if they could get men to wear makeup too, that would that would be a dream come true for these corporations, I guess. So the article talked a lot about these influencers, but not that they, as I said before, not that they would try to fix certain things before they make a video, but that they use it in their private life, actually. And this is what the goal is, of course. So then there is a guy with a foreign sounding name who says that, yeah, in the beginning, he just here and there, he tried to make the rings, the dark rings under his eyes disappear. And then if he has maybe bad skin after shaving or something, he wants to hide that as well. So it is more about hiding blemishes and flaws and looking more, more relaxed, or more as if they had good sleep or a good diet, yeah, this kind of stuff. So women want to do other things with makeup. These men, they want to look healthy, but it shouldn't look like makeup. Yeah? They want to make blemishes disappear, and they want to look like they actually had a good diet and slept really well, so that their skin looks well rested and these dark rings are gone and all that stuff. Okay, so far so good. But then it also talks about Japan and Korea, and K-pop culture, and that this androgynous look, and that you can't really tell also from the clothes, from the body type almost, and from the makeup, from the faces, from the hair, who is a woman and who is a man here. That's very confusing, this K-pop world, yeah? Or, yeah, it's just the style that they have. So, but in the West, I think that wouldn't work. They also say then in the article that the Generation C, the young people, that they have a different attitude than the older guys, that they are so secure in their masculinity, and that they cannot be shamed by this stuff, and they're not homophobic anyway, and this is why you can't shame them with that stuff, and that they have no fear anymore to bravely wear makeup as young men, and there is nothing to it anymore. Well, so if you expected that I would go on a tirade or on a rant in this video how all these young men are all little betas and not manly, and I don't know. I mean, the thing is that I know a lot of millennials and I know a lot of Gen Z people, but I don't know anybody who wears makeup. I mean, men now, yeah? So I don't even know who I should trash talk. I mean, maybe David Beckham wears makeup. He was like the poster boy for heterosexual men 10 or 15 years ago, or whenever that was a thing, or maybe 20, I don't know. So, but seriously, average men who like go to university or work in a startup company and they wear makeup, I don't know these people. I don't know anybody like that, so I don't even know who to trash talk here, okay? And I think it is much more interesting to talk about this from a economic perspective, which is that these companies, they want to create a demand where there, as of now, is none. And here I think the example of South Korea and Japan are really important, because if we look at women, women are the ones who wear makeup predominantly now. Look at what is going on there. Yeah? In Germany, women wear much less makeup than in many, many other first world countries. They have minimal makeup, and many German women and girls have no makeup at all. And actually, this is one of the few things where I have to say, yes, I prefer that. I like that about German women, that they have minimal or no makeup at all. I have to admit that. I find that great, because I think there is nothing positive about makeup whatsoever. I have to say that now. It is I think it's a very bad thing. It costs money, it costs time. There are women in Japan, I know, yeah, who wouldn't even open the door to receive a package or something, or when the mailman rings, or ha ha ha, very funny, but you know what I mean. I mean, like an Amazon shipment or something like that. They wouldn't even open the door if they don't have makeup on. Yeah? They cannot leave the house without makeup. And in Japan, the culture is really like that. If in, I mean, maybe not in super rural areas or something, or when you're really old or something, but a young woman in a bigger city, if they are seen on the streets without makeup, people talk. And I've heard cases in South Korea that you are actually harassed. You are like, people yell at you in the street when you don't wear makeup. That's horrible. I find that horrible, yeah? Because it's no longer an option to do so because you want to look pretty or something, or you want to trick men to think that you actually look good or something, but it becomes a requirement. And it, once again, it costs a lot of money, and it is a lot of effort to do that, a lot of wasted time, and that is just a bad thing. That I cannot see any positive components or aspects to this. And once you set the standard, once it becomes a standard, yeah, and that is reinforced by social pressure, you can't escape it anymore. Yeah, you can never be spontaneous, like say, oh, let's go there. Oh no, I took my makeup off already. I can't go to the bar or something. Absolutely. I mean, just think about a man saying that. And by the way, I think it's also horrible when women say that. I find that disturbing. But there are many women, not only in Japan or South Korea, who are like that. But in Japan and South Korea and many places, as I said, it is a requirement, especially if you go to college, for example, or if you work in a company, even in an office, and especially, and there are many rules for that, when you have customer contact. You cannot just say, I don't wear makeup. And now imagine a world, imagine a society, and it might not be that far away into the future, where these kinds of requirements would also be relevant for men. Yeah? So if you want to meet a client, if you work at a company for your job, you have to put makeup on. If you want to work in an office, you have to put makeup on. Yeah? If you want to just leave your apartment, you have to put makeup on. Otherwise, people talk bad about you or yell at you or throw objects at you or something. Yeah? Just imagine. And this is, of course, the wet dream of the big corporations. What they want to do is they want to create these demands. These demands aren't naturally there. They are created by PR and propaganda methods, of course. These things are stupid. Nobody needs them. There are natural demands, of course. Like everybody wants to have a house, everybody wants to have a car, or not everybody anymore, but these things are useful. A car takes you places. A house is, warm and it's dry and you have a couch and a TV, it's nice, yeah? So these are natural demands that people have, but makeup, I never had, as a man, I mean, there were times not too long ago in our countries actually when women didn't feel the need to put makeup on, when a normal middle class or working class married woman would never dream about putting makeup on. That was something for the ladies of the night, for the naughty girls who, prostitutes basically. Yeah, this is what makeup was for, or maybe some nobility or something like that. But normal, average women, maybe 200 years ago, I don't think they put on makeup. Yeah, and maybe men in the future will look back at the year 2020 and think, oh, this was about the time when men started to put makeup on also. Yeah, absolutely crazy. And we are laughing about these things now, right? But I don't know. In 10 years, in many places or in more densely populated first world, big cities, metropolises or something, you could see this as a general, not just a trend, but a development. And I think it's a ratchet. Once you establish that standard, it doesn't go back. I mean, in Japan, I don't see any scenario in which women could ever get out of their apartments again or work in a company without makeup and without getting nasty comments or being even reprimanded by their superiors in the office. Yeah? I don't see it happening. It will not happen in Japan. It will probably never go back. And once that standard is established for men, boom, it's there. It doesn't go back. So you might laugh about this topic, and you might think that, or your initial reaction would be to hurl a bunch of dirty words towards these men. And yes, maybe you're right, but I think this is not where we should stop talking and thinking about this problem or this issue, because I think there is a huge financial interest behind that. So there is a driving force that people should not underestimate. It is a big industry, and now they notice that with these trends, on YouTube, on social media, these men that are putting on makeup and stuff, they see hope. I mean, I guess that even in the beauty industry, people didn't really take it seriously maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago. If anybody had the idea, hey, let's market makeup to men in the West, not in Japan or something with K-pop and that stuff, but in the West, that was not a serious proposition. Nobody would have thought that this works. But I think now they see a realistic case that this could work if they market it correctly. And I think this is what they will do now. All right. So, and by the way, I want to say one more thing, and that is the masks in Japan, right? These surgical masks that people wear during flu season and also now during this latest pandemic thing. They have a nice effect for Japanese girls and women. Sometimes they wear masks, or I mean, now everybody wears them, but in former flu seasons, they were wearing the mask even though they were not coughing or they didn't have a cold or something. But they were just wearing the mask so that they didn't have to put full makeup on. Yeah, it saves a lot of money. And if they just have to go to the supermarket or run some quick errand, if they're not going to a nightclub or a cafe or something, then they just put on a mask and they did makeup around their eyes. And they left it at that. And that is way faster and way cheaper than putting on the full makeup. And this is how these masks were used during, in summer you can't really, well, I even saw it in summer actually, but mostly during the winter, a sizable percentage of women was running around on the streets with masks on, not for health reasons, but to save some yen and some precious time, I hope precious time for them, on makeup. That is just an interesting side note, that there was an actual use case, practical use case also for these surgical masks. All right, so let me know what you think about that topic. No rant here, but maybe a warning. So I think these large corporations and these global elites, to make a more general statement now, the ideal human being is the perfect consumer for them, who buys stuff that he doesn't need and that he doesn't want actually, but he is told by the PR gods that he needs that and he wants that, and then he buys it. And if they, I'm just saying, I mean, if they could infect people with some kind of disease and they could sell them a monthly dose of antidote or of something that just cures the symptoms but doesn't really cure you, I think that would be perfect for them. There would be a big motivation for the consumers then to buy that, because if you don't buy it, you die. And it would be a motivator to let these people work. Let them work like little serfs, little slaves, so that they can buy their monthly ration of medicine or antidote. So I guess this is what these people would love. But in the meantime, while they cannot do that really yet, they have to create demands where there are no demands naturally. It's not like a car or food or housing. It is absolutely artificial. Nobody needs that. And now they want to market it also to men. And I'm just saying, I have my doubts. If men in the West, or these young boys actually in the West, they want to market that to teenagers, of course, not to 40-year-olds probably. I have my doubts if they can resist that PR campaign, this propaganda effort that will be coming their way. So maybe some people online can take that topic a little more serious, because I think it is coming. And once the standard, I repeat myself, but once the standard has been established, it doesn't go back. All right, that's it from my side for today. Servus, Kameraden.